Hello everyone, and welcome back to mining endless amounts of blackstone in the nether so that we can actually get started on today's video. And I must severely apologize for being in first person. I couldn't find a proper way to set my spectator account up to record this in the nether, considering I've mined so much blackstone, each vein is like a good 50 blocks apart. So I thought, what's the worst that could happen in first person? Apparently it's just pain to watch. So that's why this second one is done properly. And I would just like to take this time to inform you that I already know the initial footage of some of where this blackstone is going has become slightly corrupted in that it's become entirely corrupted and unusable. So there's a bit of a jump at the very start of the video, but it's for a good cause. I'm perfecting my recording methods so that I can actually have some spare time, considering I need to go back to university soon. And yet, like some madman, still want to try and do 2 uploads a week. Anyway, that's the material got. So now we can decorate up this elevator, which is where we're going to be working. As you can see on the left, 2 and a bit of the 4 walls are already in place. That's the footage that I lost, as well as some later on footage. But somehow I found the footage of me putting the lamps in, so joyous be the days. Losing the cool design that I'm making so that the elevator really has that slightly ominous and yet very awesome feel going down it kind of would have been a deal breaker. And actually, I'm going to just put in some stone brick stairs here because we really want to add that flair. And this right here is the bit that I've lost. So it's a little design that I've got repeating. It's what I like to call the tombstone slash eyes slash wings. Apparently, that's not my. I see the eyes in the tombstone, not really the wings, which is on the left and the right. And in the middle, an ominous tanker of suspiciously unnamed red liquid. So use your imagination. It's probably flower petal juice. After all, this is going to be an iron farm, if you couldn't tell from the little hint in episode 2, so we're going to have a lot of spare poppies, aren't we? I also made this really cool piston door, and I understand it's a 2x2 piston door, right? It's the most common thing in the world. There's like 112 different guides on YouTube for it. But for me, this is a big deal. And yes, I know I have a 3x3 elevator over there, but still. That was a copy design, that was my own. So, I've spent some time, probably far too much time considering how little work it actually looks like I've done, trying to design a cool kind of runic lamp design so that I haven't got to have these ugly torches scattered everywhere. But I can't really make it work, and to make matters worse, this one's built on 13, and I'm pretty sure the other one's built on 12. So this is the best design I could come up with. However, I feel I'm just going to destroy all this at some point. So this was really a waste of an entire video segment. It's just to show you how much work I do that I don't normally show you. Plus I'm kind of scrounging for video bits at the moment. This is me building up the second wall, but it's only got about 13 seconds worth of footage before it cuts again. We build up here. So we're just building up another one of the tombstone walls, that's what I'm calling them. Just copying that one over there, see the blocks are in place. And the floor design has changed again as of about 30 seconds ago. So this is the next clip I found. It's me with some pillars built up and a nice cool doorway. I'm pretty proud of that doorway. Building into the area that we excavated just last episode. And I need to come up with a design for this. So I'm just gonna... I know I might build a small tombstone on top of that as well. That's all I really know how to build at the moment, is this one single wall design. But it's got all the cool colours and depth that you could ever want in a wall design, so you might as well repeat it everywhere, right? And remember how only 3.5 minutes ago you were watching me mine endless amounts of blackstone and nether? Guess what? We've run out already again, so I'm scavenging the second thick layers of these designs here that I actually cover up in the end, so I can actually finish off this wall design. Man, this build uses way too much blackstone. And this was the final layer design. We're about a day ahead of where that last clip was recorded. Everything is now complete bar the actual ceiling of it. We have our tombstone eye wing walls in place. We haven't got the roof in place. I was thinking of doing some stalactite designs. No, that's a work in progress, right? Elevators all decorated up. Small doorway design in place. Villagers I've had these for ages actually. Paul and Emma, they're prepared for the iron farm. This design, I'm pretty happy with mimicking the bigger version of it that we've got everywhere else because we've got enough walls of interest with this giant vat next to us and everything. And also the one behind us, which is this pretty damn cool row of mysterious tubes containing our yet to be named red liquid still. Overall, if I was to try and imagine a gothic style evil scientist's lair, this is the exact sort of thing I'd come up with. Oh, and the floor design, this took me at least half of the day and a half since that last clip, like I mentioned, is this double spiral, which apparently a spiral is quite hard to do in a game built around squares. Considering how hard a circle is, a spiral is pretty hard. Double spiral, I don't know why. I don't know why I made it a double spiral. It was really painful to do, but I've done it now. So was it worth it? I guess you can decide that because it was definitely painful. I will admit though, from this viewing point, the whole room is looking pretty damn awesome. As for what's actually going through the doorway, considering I have got a doorway plan and that redstone line that I didn't actually want to build up for ages, but eventually did it, it wasn't as bad as I imagined it would be, mind you. And it all leads into this area here, which is still to be designed. Now, I've got this big layer of dirt up here, and I kind of wanted to make it less flat and boring. So what I'm going to do is add a layer of trees in, because I think the rest of today's work is probably going to be above ground, right? So if I get a layer of trees in, it will kind of blend in nicer and stop it just being a grass plateau. So let's get into it. And that is looking much nicer than just having it completely flat. I've got my trees, I've got the custom trees that I've designed earlier. I don't think I ever showed you them, but they were kind of hanging around the place if you saw them in the background. And of course the custom bushes that I've got. Now, I'm going to try and split this area up, maybe into 2 or 3 areas, because it's quite a long plateau that I've got here. So I was probably going to put some diagonal lines of trees in. I think the first one's going to go about here. Something like this, right? Maybe one here will do. We'll blend all this up. Something like that. Yeah, that'll do. And then we'll go one over here as well. Now, the way I've been doing these is I've just been doing custom ones for every, like 50-50, right? Some of them are just ones that I bundle up like this, and some of them I actually go through the process of building. Of course, not all of the bone meal trees look reasonable. That's fine again. So I do some customization here and there. I've just finished off this first diagonal, so now I'm going to have to build some all the way around the outside of here. I actually forgot this area existed. You see the first diagonal there. We got some custom, we got some normal. Yeah, I forgot this area around the back existed as well, so it wasn't part of the time lapse, but we're going to have to include it anyway because otherwise it's just going to be on the edge of a cliff face. And, you know, I don't really like the look of that, so that's why I'm using these trees as like a little mask, right? They're hiding, they're like smoke and mirrors. And this is just the process to be building one of those custom trees in case anyone at home was interested. It's basically this design with different slight tweaks and variations. And here we have another line of trees all built up and ready to go. So the whole area is now cleared off for designing. And what we're going to be doing is building this little path up here to this house, which is currently a cobblestone square, but it will be a house. and I'll show you the iterative process of me building this, because we've already got like a few of these around the place, so we'll hop through this fairly quickly, right? First step is a path, obviously. Path is now complete, walks up to the house, boom, the whole front of the house is done. It's just copied from one of the houses so far, but it's going to have its own slight variance to it. I never like building the same house twice in a town. So it's kind of got the back opened up, because this place is going to be a lumber mill, of course, to process the logs. So we've got this cool working area here. Obviously, most of the work's going to be in the clearing that we've already pre-planned out. So it's going to make up for the lack of footage at the start, because I've been playing around with the replay mod to make sure that this time lapse is as funky as possible. And by that I mean it's actually fast without not rendering, and you've got a few different angles in there. You know, I'm working on it. And with that all out of the way, we've hit our weekly quota of 4 different time lapses. So, you know, dreams don't work unless you do. And ironically, I did that instead of the university work that had been set today. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. Anyway, welcome to Woodman's Close. I'm going to give you a little tour of the place. Here we have the shed that was never meant to be because I couldn't design a shed properly, and it just turned to tree stumps instead. The interior is looking pretty good, and by pretty good I mean entirely empty, 'cause I can't really do interior design. But I'll make something here, right? He deserves a nice place, considering his whole bottom area is completely open to the elements. Moving around the back, this nice extended roof that I'm pretty proud of, covering up our freshly cut logs with the classic rail technique you see everywhere. But you know, it works. Freshly chopped down tree with murder weapon and a few other victims. And here's my pride and joy, the crane, right? It's a nice little crane that I've still managed to get blackstone into it, so it still fits the gothic theme. And I'm pretty proud of that little trapdoor trick to make it like it's actually grabbing onto it. The sawmill, obviously, the classic block for an actual sawmill. A few more logs out here for the crane, and the corpse that the police have been looking for. Didn't really get very far, did they? But then again, it's an entire tree, so, you know, kind of feel bad for the guy. Here we have our de-leafer, I'm calling it, right? So you put the tree freshly cut down in here, goes into the log pile, so the crane can use it, so it can be chopped into logs to be stored under here, right? We've got a whole little production line going. And let us not forget the cool design I've got on the floor with my coarse dirt, my podzels, my path blocks, which kind of looks like basically sawdust infested grass, and some cobblestone but I'm actually really happy with this design and how it came out. Just another bit of depth to the whole village that we've got going on here.
Alrighty, and that is all the footage we got. Now that's a bit shorter than I was intending for. Usually I like to go for 20 minutes, right? Aim for that sort of mark. So instead, I'm going to round the video off with just a little talk about how everything's going so far. And I'm going to do it in the lair because that way we can say that we have footage of me, at least in it, rather than if it's not being built, right? So this is the 4th episode.
And
this is the first clip I'm actually recording where I'm doing the voiceover for it in time with the footage. So, ready, stop, eat potato. Because normally everything I do is pre-recorded. I just play the game silently and then I do the voiceover in, a sitting of 2 hours or so and get it all done in several takes. And I did that because that way I could just redo the takes, but I kind of thought, I could redo the takes anyway, right? I could just go back in the actual world and do it. But it also means, if I'm recording the whole time, which is what I've been doing as well, rather than recording in small clips, which having the voiceover live is kind of better for, then I can capture all the slightly weird moments. Now, granted, I haven't been recording live, as in like live everything. That's how I did the first few episodes, but it's not how I've been doing this one, which is why we had a slight issue at the start, because I stopped recording and I just assumed I was always recording, and that's how we lost the footage. I need to go put this trapdoor down. There it is, that's been bugging me. I'll go stand on it actually. This was still from when I was talking about the swirly floor pattern. Anyway, over the course of these 4 episodes, I have got more confident in just talking over the process rather than just playing quietly on my own like I'm used to. So, the amount of retakes I've had to do for the voiceovers has dramatically reduced since episode 1 and 2, which is, it's nice. Getting into the groove. And getting into the groove also is going to help, like I said, because we're going back to university this week. So I'm going to have less time, but I'm still attempting to do the same amount of content, right? So I need to do the amount of content I was doing before in less time. And I've just realised that this is all out of balance. I'm missing a half slab there. But I did get footage rebuilding this place. Where is it? Here we go. That'll do. I've got just enough on me. Like this. And yeah, this is my first try at this. We'll see if you are currently listening to this, then I have clearly deemed it worth putting in the end of episode 4. And I'm going to attempt to do all of episode 5 with live voiceover rather than pre-recorded after the footage has been taken. And I guess you'll find out how that goes Saturday evening / early hours of Sunday morning at a push, depending how it goes. Or, alternatively, never, because I gave up. Anyway, see you possibly then.
And I'm going to have to work on both my keyboard noises and my random movements because that was really hard to watch in post. So that doesn't have good connotation to how episode 5 is going to turn out, but I'm committed to trying because I want to at least see if it's easier. Anyway, properly goodbye now. See ya.